Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever been in like an English conversation, maybe at work or, a party, meeting someone new, and then boom, silence. You're just standing there feeling totally stuck, right? Your mind's just racing, like, what do I say now? How do I keep this going? And the whole thing just awkwardly grinds to a halt.
Oh, absolutely. That feeling, the dreaded awkward silence, it's incredibly common.
Right. It makes you question your English, feel maybe a bit self-conscious, or just, yeah, plain uncomfortable.
Exactly. It's that moment, isn't it? After the first few hellos or maybe a simple exchange where you hit a wall, you don't know how to bridge to the next thing or ask a good question or even just react in a way that shows that you're listening.
Totally. And the material we're diving into today, it tackles this very challenge head on. We've been looking at some notes, sort of an excerpt from a resource on fluency.
And it really zeroes in on how to navigate those pauses, how to keep conversations flowing smoothly.
Yeah. Think of this deep dive as equipping you with a practical toolkit. It lends out really concrete techniques, almost like conversation strategies, for handling exactly those moments.
Strategies you can actually use.
Yeah. So our mission today is to pull out the key nuggets from this material so you can feel more confident and, turn those potential silences into natural, engaging conversations.
Because here's the really interesting part, I think. One of the big ideas in this resource is that keeping a conversation going, it's not some magic talent you either have or you don't.
Right. It frames it as a learnable skill.
Exactly, like riding a bike or, I don't know, playing guitar. Something you can practice, get better at, and eventually kind of master.
That's it, precisely. And this material, it lays out 4 core techniques. Practice these, and they can make a huge difference in how comfortable, how capable you feel in those conversations.
Ready to jump into the first one?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So this resource points to this one as, well, maybe the single most important skill for avoiding those conversational dead ends.
Asking great follow-up questions.
Exactly. And it makes so much sense when you think about it, right? If someone says something and you just sort of absorb it without giving anything back.
The conversation just dies. There's
Yeah.
nowhere for it to go.
Yeah. The material uses this great analogy. It says, think of conversation like ping pong.
Ah, the ping pong analogy. Yes.
Someone hits the ball to you, they say something, ask something. If you don't hit the ball back, respond and invite them to keep going or shift things a bit.
Game over. The ball drops. The conversation just stops dead.
And one of the biggest reasons conversations stall, as this resource points out, is when someone answers with just the bare minimum.
Right. That minimal reply. The material gives a classic bad example. Person A asks, "What do you do for work?"
And person B just says, I'm a teacher. Full stop.
And awkward silence descends. You can almost hear it, can't you?
Totally. It's a true answer, sure, but it puts all the pressure back on person A. Like, okay, now you figure out where we go next.
The ping pong ball is sitting right there on B's side, and they're just looking at it, not hitting it back.
Okay, so now compare that to the good example they give. Same start. Person A, what do you do for work?
But this time, person B says, "I'm a teacher. I teach high school math. It's challenging but fun. What about you?"
Whoa, totally different vibe. Immediately, there's energy there.
Right. And the key difference, the material highlights this, is that B did 2 things. Added extra details.
High school math, challenging but fun.
Yeah. And crucially, asked a question back. What about you?
That's the engine, isn't it? Adding those details, it makes your answer more interesting, first off. And it gives the other person little hooks, right? Things they can grab onto.
Exactly. Like, oh, high school math, tough crowd, or what makes it fun. It gives them something specific to respond to.
And asking the question back, what about you? Well, that's the direct ping pong hit. You're showing interest in them, shifting the focus, keeping the game going.
Which people usually appreciate, right? It's not just about you.
Absolutely. And the material suggests a really simple way you can practice this. Like right now, they give a prompt, say, what do you like to do on weekends?
Okay.
And the challenge is answer it, but always add a little detail and always ask a question back.
Got it. So not just hiking.
No. Their example is perfect. I love hiking. Last weekend, I went to the mountains. What about you? What do you like to do?
Simple, effective, it's specific. Last weekend, mountains, and it redirects. What about you? Not complicated at all.
So the absolute key takeaway for this first technique and the material really hammers this home. Never give just a short answer.
Always add little detail and ask something back.
Yeah.
Master that one thing, and honestly, your conversations will immediately feel smoother, significantly smoother.
Okay, so that's technique 1, pushing the conversation forward. The second technique this material focuses on is maybe a bit more subtle, but just as important, reacting naturally to show interest.
Ah, yes. Because silence isn't just awkward. Sometimes it feels
Mhm.
cold, like you don't care.
Exactly. We've all been there. You share something you're maybe excited about or upset about, and the other person just gives you nothing.
Like talking to a brick wall.
Totally. The material gives this super simple but painfully real bad example. Person A says, I just got back from a trip to Japan.
And person B just goes, oh.
Mm. And then silence, that horrible, familiar silence.
Right. It's such a minimal response, offers zero encouragement, kills the vibe instantly.
That's just not how natural, engaged conversations work. When someone shares something, you kind of need to show you've heard it, processed it, and have some reaction. Curiosity, excitement, sympathy, whatever fits.
So the good example they offer, same setup. A says, I just got back from a trip to Japan.
And B responds, wow, that's awesome. How was it? What did you do there?
Ah, see, much better. It feels warm, inviting. It practically begs person A to share more.
Right, and the material points out why it works. B reacted with enthusiasm that, wow, that's awesome.
And then immediately followed up, ask more questions. How was it? What did you do?
It's that 1-2 punch again. Validate their share, then inquire further.
And thinking about the impact, it's not just filling silence, saying, wow, that's awesome. It validates the other person's experience, makes them feel heard, like what they said actually landed and was interesting.
Which naturally encourages them to share more. It builds a connection, makes the whole thing more dynamic, more pleasant for both people.
Because silence after someone shares, it's emotionally draining, isn't it? A simple reaction injects life back into the exchange.
Totally. And the material gives some great, easy examples of phrases you can use for this. That's amazing. Oh, wow, really? No way. Tell me more. Or even something like, I'd love to do that someday.
Yeah, they're short, simple phrases, but they signal engagement so clearly. Makes a world of difference.
The material suggests practicing this just by imagining someone tells you something cool and focus on your immediate, genuine reaction. Like imagine someone says, I just got a promotion at work.
Okay, promotion. Nice.
The example reaction they give nails it because it combines the reaction and the follow-up. That's awesome. Congratulations. What's your new role?
Perfect. Hits all the right notes, shows excitement for them, offers congratulations, and then asks an open-ended question about the news itself. Keeps it going.
And the conclusion for this section in the material is just spot on. Small reactions make conversations feel more natural and fun. Simple truth, easy to forget sometimes.
So true. Okay, so we've got asking follow-ups, reacting naturally. What's the third skill from this resource?
All right, number 3 builds on those. Using active listening to keep conversations flowing.
Active listening. Okay, so this is more than just not interrupting.
Yeah, it goes deeper than just hearing the words. It's about really processing what the other person is saying, understanding their message, and then responding directly to that.
As opposed to just waiting for a gap to talk about what you want to talk about.
Exactly, or thinking about your next brilliant point while they're still talking. The material gives this maybe slightly exaggerated but very clear example of bad listening.
Okay, let's hear it.
Person A says, I had a really tough day at work. And person B responds, oh, I love pizza.
Oh dear. Yeah, that's the total disconnect. Person B was clearly miles away, right? Just waiting to insert their own random thought. Zero connection.
0. Now look at the good listening example they provide. Same start. Person A, I had a really tough day at work.
And person B responds, oh no, what happened? Was it super busy today?
See the difference, night and day. B acknowledges A's feeling, oh no, asks for more information directly tied to A's statement, what happened, and even offers a possible related reason, was it super busy?
Right. As the material notes, B responded in a way that keeps the conversation moving. They actually addressed what A said.
And that really shows the power of active listening. It conveys respect, empathy, genuine interest. When someone feels truly heard, truly understood.
They're much more likely to open up, to continue sharing, to feel comfortable in the conversation.
Exactly. The material suggests that when you practice this, conversations start feeling less like two separate people talking at each other.
And more like a collaborative flow, like you're building something together.
Yeah. And think about it from your perspective, the listener's perspective. If you're really focused on listening, truly trying to understand and respond to what the other person just said.
You're less likely to be stuck in your own head, worrying about, oh no, what do I say next? Or fearing that silence. Your response naturally flows from what you just heard.
Right. Your next line is prompted by their last line. The material offers a practice suggestion here, too. Imagine someone tells you, I just moved to a new city. How do you respond using active listening?
Okay, new city. So not just, oh, cool.
Definitely not. The example response they give is great. Oh, that's exciting. How do you like it so far?
Makes sense. You acknowledge the event, exciting, and ask a relevant open question. How do you like it? You're responding to the move, not just making a placeholder noise.
This practice helps train your brain to make that connection, link your response directly to what was just said. And the material makes a pretty strong promise here. If you start practicing active listening, conversations will feel much more natural.
I believe it. Okay, that makes 3. Follow-ups, reactions, active listening. What's the final technique from this source?
Okay, the fourth and final core technique they cover in this section is knowing how to change the topic smoothly.
Ah, the smooth transition. Yes, this is crucial too, because sometimes, a topic just runs its course.
Exactly. Or maybe you genuinely don't have anything more to add, or you sense the other person is maybe getting bored or ready to move on.
And just abruptly switching gears can be really jarring. Creates another kind of awkwardness.
Totally. The material's bad example for this is another one that makes you cringe a bit. Person A says, so I went to the beach last weekend.
Okay, beach weekend. Got it.
And person B replies, oh, I like hamburgers.
Wow. Okay. Zero connection again. Beach.
Yeah.
Hamburgers.
Huh.
It feels completely random. Leaves person A thinking, wait, what just happened?
No bridge whatsoever. So here's the smooth transition example from the material. Same start. A says, so I went to the beach last weekend.
And person B responds, that sounds fun. Speaking of the weekend, do you have any plans for this one?
See how that works. Much better. B acknowledges A, that sounds fun, then uses a linking phrase.
Speaking of the weekend,
Uh-huh.
creates that bridge.
Right. And then introduces the new but related topic. Do you have any plans for this one?
The material points out the topic changed naturally instead of feeling random. That's the key. Smooth transitions make the conversation feel connected, logical, even as you shift focus.
And this is where those little transition phrases become super useful tools in your conversational toolkit.
They signal the shift, don't they? They let the other person know you're moving on, but it's not totally out of the blue.
Exactly. The material lists some really common, useful ones. Speaking of that reminds me, by the way.
Good ones. Easy to use.
And they even give an example structure, like, since we're talking about travel, have you ever been to Spain? You acknowledge the current theme, travel, and then introduce the new related question, Spain.
Makes perfect sense. It flows.
The practice suggestion here is basically listen actively in conversations and look for those natural moments where a topic might be winding down. Then, try using a transition phrase to gently steer it somewhere else.
Like if you hear someone say, I just bought a new car.
Okay, new car. Instead of just cool or changing the subject randomly, the material's example response is, that's cool. Speaking of cars, have you ever been on a road trip?
Nice. React. That's cool. Transition phrase. Speaking of cars.
Yeah.
New related topic. Road trip. Feel like a natural expansion, not an interruption.
And the material sums this one up perfectly, too. Smooth topic changes make conversations feel natural. It's about maintaining that flow.
Okay, wow. So those are the 4 big techniques from this source for keeping things moving.
Yeah, just to quickly recap them for everyone listening. First, asking great follow-up questions. Remember the ping pong analogy, add details, ask something back, hit the ball back.
Second, reacting naturally. Show that enthusiasm. Use those simple phrases like, wow, or really. Makes it more engaging, more fun.
Third, using active listening. Really tune in, respond to what they just said. Makes it feel collaborative.
And fourth, changing the topic smoothly. Use those transition phrases, speaking of, that reminds me, to build bridges, avoid awkward jumps.
And the material summary really brings it all together, doesn't it? It emphasizes how using these techniques helps you stay confident, feel more engaged, and just sound much more natural in English conversations, directly tackling that fear of silence.
Yeah, it's empowering. And crucially, this resource doesn't just tell you about these things. It gives you a specific challenge task to actually start doing them.
This is where the rubber meets the road, right? Where the learning really sticks.
Exactly. The task has 3 clear, practical steps, designed to be totally manageable. Step 1, find someone, anyone, really to have a short conversation with today. Could be a language partner, friend, colleague, even just practicing responses in your head counts to start.
Okay, have a chat. Got it.
Step 2, this is the active part. During that chat, Consciously try to use at least one follow-up question,
Mm-hmm.
one natural reaction,
Right.
and one smooth topic change. Just one of each.
Yeah.
No pressure to be perfect, just try to weave them in.
One follow-up, one reaction, one smooth change. Doable.
And then step 3, reflection.
Yeah.
After the conversation, take a moment. The material gives simple questions. Did I keep the conversation going? What technique worked best for me? What can I improve next time?
That reflection piece is so important, isn't it? That's how you turn just trying something into actual skill development. Figure out what clicked, what felt awkward, what to focus on next.
Absolutely. And the material even invites you to think about your own struggles, like what feels hardest for you about keeping conversations going. How might these techniques specifically help you? It really acknowledges that this is a common hurdle.
And it sets us up nicely for what the resource points to as what's next, which is diving into small talk.
Oh yeah, small talk. Such a huge part of interacting in English-speaking cultures, isn't it? The material stresses how vital it is at work, parties, just meeting people.
Definitely knowing how to just start those casual, friendly chats. It's
Yeah.
fundamental.
And the source outlines exactly what that next section will cover, building perfectly on these flow techniques. How to start a conversation with anyone.
Not just keep one going, yeah.
The best topics to actually talk about, and maybe just as important, what topics to maybe steer clear of,
Good point.
and how to sound friendly and confident, even if you're talking to strangers or feel a bit out of your element socially.
It feels like the perfect next step. First, learn to keep the ball in the air once the game starts. Then, learn how to confidently serve that first ball.
Exactly.
So, ultimately, this whole deep dive into this part of the source material, it really hammers home a powerful core message about communication, I think.
Which is,
That good conversations don't just happen. They're not magic. They're built with the right techniques.
I like that. It shifts the whole perspective, doesn't it? From thinking conversation is some innate talent.
Right. To seeing it as a set of skills. Skills you can actively learn, practice, refine. By focusing on these simple, practical things, follow-up questions, reactions, listening, smooth transitions.
You can genuinely change how you feel in English conversations.
Yeah.
Less anxiety, more confidence.
And also change how other people experience conversations with you. You move from being maybe a passive participant, hoping they carry the weight.
To being an active, confident contributor.
Yeah.
Someone who helps build the flow.
That's a really powerful thought to leave you with, isn't it? Take these practical insights from the material we discussed into your very next conversation.
Maybe just pick one technique to focus on first. Like just consciously try to add a detail and ask a question back next time you answer something simple.
Yeah, see how it feels. Notice the reaction you get. Reflect on it afterward.
Keep practicing, keep experimenting. These are muscles you can build.
And until the next deep dive, keep learning, keep chatting, and enjoy the flow.